also want to do a provocative last presentation. I'm going to start off with a quote. Individual human beings are not born or fashioned with fully formed knowledge, values, goals, or personalities. They must each form their own values and goals, develop their own personalities, and learn about themselves and the world around them. Every man and woman must have freedom, must have the scope to form, test, and act upon his own choices. For any sort of development of his own personality to take place, he must, in short, be free in order that he may fully be human. So what I'm going to be talking about today, I'm going to take you through my basic moral philosophy, and I'm going to start off talking about this. Chocolate. So this is called the non-aggression principle. Basically the idea is, every single one of you has the right to your life, has the right to your property, the right to not be molested, raped, or anything. The right to your life. That's all it is. Does anybody in here disagree that aggression is, well, let me phrase it this way. Aggression is never justified against innocent people. Does anybody disagree? No one disagrees? What? Y'all are going to be bamboozled by the end of this. All right. Topic number 2. Democracy. So let's clarify some definitions real quick. Does anybody here not think that democracy is the best form of government we've ever had? Does anybody not think that? You? Are you just joking?
No.
Oh, good.
In a sense, like, it's very good, and there's a lot of positive aspects of it. But I mean, you can see where we are at now and how.
Oh, wait till I put some numbers up. Were you raising your hand? Oh, okay. So the election where we had the most people vote, namely the highest eligible voter population, 1876. 8,336,888 people voted that year. The population, it's give or take between 1870 to 1880, it's about like 35 million. So that's 23.8% of the population that voted. Oh, I missed the most important question. Does anybody disagree that a majority by definition is 51% or above, a majority rule? Does anybody disagree that's what democracy is? Now this will have meaning. So in 1876, this is when the most people voted. 23.8% of people voted. Huh. Right? So looking towards today, in the 2016 election, there was 139 million people that voted, divided by 324.4 million. This was 21.5% of the population that put people in the power over you all.
And the Russians.
And the Russians, yeah, there you go. So the point is, what have we ever had in democracy? Go ahead.
With the previous election, Hillary actually won the populist vote, but the electoral college.
That's a different discussion.
Yeah, that's a different discussion.
Well, let me ask you this: for the World Series, when you have two teams in a World Series, who wins the World Series? The person who scores the most runs, or the person who wins the most games?
Team that wins the most games.
You're a smart dude.
Thank you.
Now think about that logic, but I'm going to go on. So my third question is: does the government violate the non-aggression principle? You all agreed that aggression is never justified against people. Well, what's the track record of the government? Look at this guy right here. R.J. Rumble. He spent his entire life studying what's known as democide. Democide is death by government. Now let me put some other numbers up here for you. China, during the 20th century, let me start by saying this. In the past 20th century, governments have killed 262 plus million of their own people. This isn't including wars. This is starvation. Well, I'll get into it. So China killed at least 71 plus million in the 20th century. USSR, let's see, 61 plus million. Colonialism, 50 plus million. And he just goes on and on. He wrote a book called Death by Government. Sorry for my poor handwriting, by the way, but does anyone disagree? How does the government, in what way does the government act that doesn't violate your rights? Your negative rights, meaning your right to not be harmed. What time do we have, by the way?
4:48.
Well, let me give you some examples then. So, Andrew's been a very, very good friend to me this semester. He's a good guy. Should get that guy's number. Would you mind holding up your backpack for me? So, Andrew's a really nice guy. I'll be honest, I've been staring at his backpack the whole semester. There's only 2 ways in which I can get it. I promise you all, there's only 2 ways in which I can get it. The first, I can try to seduce you. Maybe I can offer you some money or something you'd like in exchange. Or I can hold a gun to your head and steal it from you. Does anyone disagree?
I mean, you could ask.
Well, look, I'll be honest. I've heard you guys defend taxes. I've heard you guys defend anything. You're telling me you're all anti-tax now. You're all anti-government now. Oh. What am I going to say for another few minutes?
Okay.
I thought there'd be some like
Can I just
pushback
ask
here.
a question?
Sure, yeah.
Would you go for seduction or holding the gun to my head first?
I would go for seduction. I think you have the right to not be harmed. That's the underlying philosophy. So the underlying philosophy is if you don't believe in violence, you don't believe in government. Right? There's no pushback to this at all?
I mean, let's talk about the social contract.
Yeah, can I sit down? Man.
Alright, so yeah, I mean, obviously the non-aggression principle is the ideal for a society, but if we consider the social contract, the non-aggression principle can't be implemented realistically. If we're to have a civil society, we have to have a method for punishing people and putting them in prisons. That violates that principle.
Well, that's nothing to do with social contract. I did my presentation, I talked about Socrates and how his trial basically brought on the social contract. And later on, Rousseau talked about the social contract, Hobbes talked about the social contract, and the idea is you're a slave. You were born into a society where you benefit from things of the past. You're a slave. You're in debt to everybody else. That's what the social contract is.
But everyone else is in debt to me too, and that's great. Those are the principles this country was built on.
Okay, good.
1876, women couldn't vote. Black
Right.
women couldn't vote.
That's kind of the point, is just imagine at this period of time, that was still how local population was voted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so say that you cut that number 35 million in half. That would, because half of the population couldn't vote, that would change
Well,
the percentage of the statistic.
Let me just reiterate the idea here. So we all agree that democracy, 51% plus. It's not 49.9. It's 51% plus. So say we doubled that. What was that? Would that be over 51%?
No.
No.
Which is why we legislate it. Everyone has to vote. Make it like Australia. They do
Well,
things the
okay,
best.
that was one pushback I was hoping for. What if we just force people to vote? Who would they vote for? Have any of you guys seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah.
Remember when Pedro is up on stage and he's like, I'm gonna make all your wildest dreams come true, and the other girl's like, I'm gonna put a new pop machine in the school?
I mean,
Well, who would you vote for if you had to vote? You would vote for someone who's gonna give you stuff, right?
that's perfect.
And how do they get the stuff? They get it from stealing.
I mean, the Australians did elect Tony Abbott, so clearly the system doesn't always work.
I can't falsify any of the points you brought up, man. So I might be running a little short. I'll take the grade deduction, but this book is called Anatomy of the State. I'm gonna leave about 5 copies here. The only thing I don't ask, if you hated my presentation, don't take all 5 and put them in the trash. Just like leave them there, let them get around the school. I wish I could have said more. I thought there was gonna be more pushback, but you know, I believe all of you have the right to your life and the right to not be harmed. That's the underlying position. Thank you all.
Hey everyone, please like, follow, donate, subscribe, and share. Any donations will be used to reach more people.